All right, Tom, your thoughts?
Yeah, well,
Tom. Who put these in, Tom?
Because he's not actually at an airport. And I know that because if he was, it would have to be one of these 3 airports. But none of the mountains in the back of these airports are the same. And well, Gordon, I found you.
Near the end of the performance, they flash the word game over. So what could that mean?
Welcome back to the channel. It's WIZSPEK and I'm back at it again. Now in today's video, whether you're an NFL fan or not, this compilation got some creepy Super Bowl TikToks that I think you'll find interesting. Let's get it.
All right, y'all need to see these Super Bowl commercials because they're just telling you the truth in plain sight.
We've made contact with a new alien species, and apparently they're foodies.
The worst.
We'll need you to cook for them. You'll have access to top secret cooking technology.
Wait, that's just a Hexline pan. I've got these at home.
The pan was developed using material from an alien spacecraft.
What?
We don't have time for a science lesson, Mr. Ramsey. The alien ambassador is over here. Not her. Him.
Hey, what's up, dude? You know what I mean? All famous people are aliens. I'm not. I meant like real famous people. All right, Tom, your thoughts?
yeah, well,
Tom. Who put these in, Tom? Only Duracell has power boost ingredients. That's why winners like Tom here only run on Duracell. Tom, are you okay? Why does everyone keep asking me that since the roast? I gotta go, Gronk.
I don't think that's the case, but it would be crazy if Gordon Ramsay filmed that commercial at Area 51.
Yesterday. So on this flight, Gordon Ramsay was on the flight, and if you don't know who he is, that's the famous chef. One, we didn't even know where we were flying to. Usually we know where they're gonna take us to. We just know that we landed somewhere in Nevada.
I saw this Gordon Ramsay post on Instagram and immediately knew something felt off because he's not actually at an airport. And I know that because if he was, it would have to be one of these 3 airports. But none of the mountains in the back of these airports are the same. And well, Gordon, I found you. With these pixels that resembled a fence, these mountains, and this arid landscape, there's only one option. Area 51.
When we landed, a group of men in black suits came and escorted him off the plane. Okay. I looked to my right, and I noticed that Gordon Ramsay, he left something on his chair. This tiny pan. This insy-wincy pan.
I'm not sure if Gordon Ramsay was going to Area 51 to host a cooking class, but he probably realized last minute that that small frying pan is not going to cut it.
I'm trying to tell you, you don't want to believe. AI is coming for everybody, and it's going to take over everything. Miss Erica, will you please tell this clown pretty soon we won't even have credit card machines. It'll all just be AI.
bro, you're overreacting.
I don't know. What do you think, babe? You think AI is going to take over?
What you think? I'm telling you.
You really think computer is going to take over everything?
That's going to be touchscreen, all that type of computer, all this probably not even all this.
You know what, Mr. James? Today is on me.
For real?
No job. Have a wonderful one.
I've been trying to tell this cat that pretty soon computers taking over everything. When you start drinking Tad?
That young man has taste.
Yeah.
And about these computers, we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, man.
We're going to be all right. Don't worry about it.
I think we're going to be all right.
So this is the 2025 Super Bowl commercial. Now, it's one thing for AI to take over certain jobs or this world becoming a cashless society. But the day we wake up and we can't use our credit cards, we might be a step or 2 away from being presented the mark of the beast.
This is probably the craziest Super Bowl conspiracy that I've ever heard. Carson Wentz was once the former franchise quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is currently the backup quarterback for the Chiefs in this year's Super Bowl against the Eagles. And there are people who actually think he's been plotting this whole time from the inside. Listen to this. Wentz actually has an indirect role in helping assemble the roster the Eagles will have today against his Kansas City Chiefs. Now follow along with me. The Eagles traded Wentz to the Colts for a 2021 third-round pick and 2022 conditional first-round pick. They then used that 2022 first-round pick to execute a trade with the Saints that Philadelphia turned into A.J. Brown, Jalen Carter, and Cooper DeJean. And they used the 2021 third-round pick to trade up and grab Devontae Smith. So think about this for a second. Just from this Carson Wentz trade alone, the Eagles got their number 1 and number 2 receivers, Jalen Carter, who's one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL, and Cooper DeJean, who as a rookie put up these numbers and came in 4th in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. So even though Carson Wentz no longer plays for the Eagles, he's basically the biggest reason the Eagles are in the Super Bowl trying to beat his Chiefs in this Super Bowl.
Apart from all this speculation, hopefully Carson was not involved in any sports betting, because at this point you can forget about losing a game. That come with prison time.
All right, so help me out here. We've got 2 plane crashes. One leaving Wichita, Kansas. The Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. A plane flying into Pennsylvania that crashes in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl.
I'm not sure if that's a coincidence or not, but let me know if 1 + 1 = 2 on this one.
The thing with Kendrick Lamar is the more that you listen, the more that you'll hear. And the more that you watch, the more that you'll see. So I just rewatched the Super Bowl halftime show again, and there's so much shit in this. Let's talk about it. First, I want to point out that his entire Super Bowl stage is a PlayStation controller. And who owns PlayStation? Sony? Where's Drake signed to? Sony. So that's the very first button that he's pushing here. Samuel L. Jackson comes out as Uncle Sam and he starts the game. He says this is America's greatest game, but America's greatest game is actually on halftime, so that's not what he's talking about. Kendrick then opens with a clip of his song GNX, standing on top of his GNX. This man said, "You would not get the picture if I had to sit you for hours in front of the loop." Meaning some of you are just not gonna get this. Followed by, started with nothing but government cheese, but now I can seize the government too. And then says the revolution's about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. And behind him, the crowd lights lit up, warning, wrong way. The background dancers are super important to this too because they're jumping out the GNX, all the different set colors. And then Kendrick goes into Squabble Up. And all of the sets kind of go into their own colors with their own people, and they get ready, and they look like they're about to fight. As he plays Squabble Up, they all stay in their own little sets, and they all squabble up together. They then all march into these lines on the stage, and it pops back to Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam says this isn't what America wants, it's too loud, it's too reckless, and it's too ghetto, and he asks if Kendrick even knows how to play the game. The dancers then follow Kendrick up onto stage, surround him in the shape of the American flag. Kendrick is the only star on the stage, and he follows the rules, and he plays humble. Sit down. Be humble. But at the end of it, he says, hold up. And then he goes into DNA. And notice that all the sets behind him are now stepping together. I got loyalty, I got royalty inside my DNA. Dude is reminding himself who he is. He ends this little bit with, wish I was, hold up, instead of wish I was dead. Then this man plays Euphoria, and all the sets are still together in their own colors, but they're all marching in line, and they're all marching towards the same thing, kind of like they're marching into battle. He then says it's KDOT, the fireworks go off, and he transitions into a brand new song that he debuted on the Super Bowl. I could be wrong about that, correct me if I am, but I'm pretty sure it was just debuted at the Super Bowl for the first time, and it's called Man at the Garden. And notice how the background dancers are all posted up like they're on the corner rapping like back in the days in the streets. He's literally taking it back to what he knows. And then he transitions into Peekaboo. But Uncle Sam pops back in and says that, oh, I see you brought your homeboys, the old culture cheat code. And then he deducts one life away from Kendrick. Almost like if you get all your people together, you could lose a life. This is where the subliminal messaging gets so deep, and he is the king of Easter eggs, I shit you not. Because now he's showing you exactly what to do on each move. Now on the X button, so this is the first button he decided to push. And if you pay attention, he'll show you exactly what you should be doing when you're making these moves yourself, because he's calling out to everybody in this performance. But the first move he wants to make is on Drake, and he comes through, and as he's playing Peekaboo, he does the Hotline Bling dance. This is also where he teased Not Like Us by saying he wanted to make a move, but he didn't play it, as if he's choosing the right moves and when to make them. And right now is not the right time. He then says he's gonna calm it down, and he goes over to the triangle button, and SZA and him perform their song Luther. Those lyrics say, better days coming for sure, and if it was up to me, I wouldn't give these nobodies no sympathy. And then we move over to the circle button. While they're all circling the circle with each other, the rest of the sets are marching towards the circle button. This is where Kendrick and SZA perform their song All the Stars. All the stars that are missing from that flag when Kendrick was the only one up there, we're all the stars. Everyone that is watching this performance is all the stars. He's calling to you. That's when Uncle Sam pops back in and says, that's what America wants to see. It's nice and it's calm, and tells him not to mess this. And before he can say up, Kendrick starts playing the Not Like Us beat. He did his little bit with the girls, and they asked if he was really gonna do it, and he said, 40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music. 40 acres and a mule is what they promised slaves after the Civil War. And then they tried to rig the game, but they can't fake influence, and smiled into the camera. And knowing Kendrick, he could be very influential. He then dragged Drake up and down New Orleans Super Bowl field, smiling straight into the camera when he said, "Say Drake." The crowd screamed A minor while he has a lowercase a on his chain, and the entire dancer spelled out minor. Then he brought out Serena Williams, and she was crip walking on Drake's grave. She's from Compton, she's Drake's ex, and her sister was also unalived in a drive-by shooting involving the Crips. Kendrick is literally saying it doesn't matter what's ever happened before, we gotta come together right now. And he's using Serena Williams in multiple different ways to show that. He then brought out Mustard and played TVs off and turned off the TV on Drake's. The lights in the crowd behind him said game over. And if you were to ask me, I'd say this is most likely a multiplayer game. Could sit you for hours in front of that loop and some of y'all still won't get this. It's chess, it ain't checkers, and dude is diabolical.
Anyone who breaks down the video like Shaded could easily apply for a detective position and use that breakdown as part of their resume.
I just got this theory for the Super Bowl, man. Like, I feel like a lot of spiritual work is going to be done during this Super Bowl. Like, where all the energy at and everything, energy harvesting and whatever, you know, every opportunity that they can get, where there's a lot of people and a lot of energy, they going to do something spiritual. And they in the right city for that. Like, the times that we're living in, man, it's some desperate times for a lot of people. And they're not playing around nowadays. They're trying to get full control of you with all this AI stuff and everything. AI getting rid of people's jobs and stuff, man. They're just not playing around right now. And I just, you know, hope that a lot of people don't think that we just get on here and talk some conspiracies. Like, a person that still believes in conspiracies, like, bro, open your eyes. Like, by now, you don't see what's going on. Like, and then a lot of conspiracies that people talked about came true. Like, it came to pass. Like, we need to just go ahead and throw that word out the dictionary. But for this Super Bowl, y'all better keep y'all eyes open. Be aware of everything that's going on around. Like, it's not no joke.
Whenever you're watching stuff like the Super Bowl show or even a movie, matter of fact, you gotta watch those with objective eyes and practice discernment. The last thing you want to do is be gullible and consume stuff subconsciously.
The Super Bowl halftime show was as demonic as ever. Case in point with all of the symbols that they showed throughout this halftime performance. Case in point, near the end of the performance, they flashed the word game over. So what could that mean? Because this was also an American themed type show. And that's not all, because they also flashed the words warning wrong way. Again, what could they be telling us with these words in the crowd? And of course they had to flash one of their favorite signs and their symbols, and this sign and symbol also looks like this right here. If you know, you know, but they sure do love their pyramids. So it is no surprise that this show was as demonic as ever. Even Samuel L. Jackson had to flash a certain hand sign. And again, if you know what this means. This has to do with the 666. So once again, this halftime show was as demonic as ever. People really need to wake up.
When it comes to the Super Bowl halftime show, there are no words, there are no choreographies, there are no symbolisms that's shown to the public without the elites approving it beforehand. The elites probably had their feet up, tapping themselves on the shoulder for a job well done.
This was a Super Bowl signal. This wasn't just a performance, y'all. This was a prophecy. This was a signal, a warning. So Super Bowl 59, you got millions of people tuned in to watch this halftime show. So beneath the flashing lights in the stadium chairs, y'all, something great was happening. Something so great that a lot of people couldn't truly understand. But I'm gonna break it down. So it all started with Uncle Sam, as Samuel Jackson stood in the middle and made his little speech. He was dressed as an American figure, but this wasn't no patriotism. This was control. This was a reminder of a house slave role he played in Django Unchained. So basically what he's saying is, The people in power still want the black voices to play their game and stay in their place. So what he said to Kendrick was, know your role, play the part they expect you to play. See, but Kendrick had no intentions on playing their game. He said you picked the right time, but you picked the wrong guy. Y'all got me chopped if you think I'm finna follow y'all rules. That's when the stage transformed, y'all. Turned to something real familiar. Something on Netflix called The Squid Games. Look, you got the square, X, triangle, circle. So what I got from this was he was saying in this world where the rich exploit and manipulate the poor for entertainment. So essentially, he's saying while the elites sit up on their high horse looking down below, they watch us fight to survive. I don't know about y'all, but this is reality. It's like the system that keep the powerless in the cycle of struggle while the wealthy just keep profiting off of it. And then you got the dancers dressed in red, white, and blue. As you can see Kendrick stand in the middle. They were making a flag. And apparently Kendrick showed a divide in the flag because he was down the middle of it. So basically he's saying there's no unity for real. And the promise of justice and liberty is capped. He said because only a few get to be free for real. And then from what it appears, what I thought it looked like prison yards, y'all. And if that's the case, we all know what that represents. The mass incarceration. A system built to break communities, to strip us of our future, to show us, even though we're not in chains no more, we're still in chains. So basically, they never really freed us. Essentially, they just changed the chains. Then he had the scene cut to Serena during the Crip Walk. And what I got from it was he was trying to be petty. And then you got Not Like Us. And I don't need to go too deep into that because people already know what that was about. But I will tell you, he looked directly at the camera and said, hey Drake. Now the message here was really simple. He's saying, y'all need to wake the up and realize that society is in a crisis. The world is on fire. We need to wake up. We need to organize. You need to cut the damn TV off. And we all need to fight back. Because if you don't, then you just gonna let it absorb all of us. So the last thing that was shown was this, and it said game over. We all know who this was directed to. If you don't, it was a direct message to the higher ups, to the people in power, to the elites.
To be honest, a lot of the symbolism didn't really surprise me, but I was definitely surprised to see Serena doing the Crip Walk. That's grounds to get banned from the stadium for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Super Bowl logo for next year. What does this tell us about the matchup in 2025? Now, many of us know the conspiracy floating around, and shout out to my boys Catch the Blitz for putting this image together for us, of the Super Bowl logo suggesting who is going to be playing. Whether you believe it or not, I mean, come on. The coincidence is absolutely for real. At the Cincinnati Bengals, LA Rams, orange and yellow. Wow. Eagles, Chiefs, had the Eagles colors, Chiefs colors. San Francisco and the Kansas City Chiefs with the Taylor Swift trend that was going on. Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, red and green. And now this monstrosity. Now, many of you are probably looking at this and saying, Dan, this is way too noisy for us to be able to pick two potential opponents. But let me tell you what, I have the case unfolded. As you can see, dominant colors, all right? Pink, blue, a little bit of red right there, and of course green with the trees. Pink is a red herring. Completely go on ahead and just wipe that out of your mind. But what I want you to pay attention to is the red, the blue, and the green. With that being said, the Super Bowl in San Francisco for the 2025-2026 season will be the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles. Save this video because your mind's about to be blown.
If he's really into something, it takes away the surprise out of the regular season performance, at least for the top tier teams.
Truth about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl Sunday. Sunday is the day of Leo. One of Leo's attributes is the center of attention. When you look at the etymology of the word super, it means to be above. Now, we resonate with the word above as in being in control. The etymology of the word bowl is a round vessel, in which a vessel, aka a body, that contains an essence. Ironically, but not so ironic, a bowl also represents the shape of a circle. In magic, circles are used to contain energy. In conjunction with that, the bowl is a utensil that we use to eat out of. So the Super Bowl is a tool used for those above, not in altitude, but those that are in control, to feed off the energy, aka the attention, of those that are tuning in to the game.
Whether your team is losing or winning, there's a lot of positive and negative energy that's moving through that stadium, so I can kind of dig where he's coming from.
Everyone, I have a new vision that I need to share with you about the Super Bowl. Actually, it's two. So yesterday, as I was praying, the Lord began to show me Taylor Swift's face. Now, I didn't just see her face, y'all. I saw her in a concert, and she was doing this, whatever this is. I don't know what this is. But she was doing that, and as she was singing, whenever she began to sing, I saw the word enchantment come out of her mouth. The next thing you know, I heard Kendrick Lamar. Now, I didn't know who this person was. So I went in the prayer group and I was asking because I heard the Lord say he's compromised. And then I went in the prayer group on Facebook because we have a live notification group, which when I go live, I send a notification to you. And it doubles as a prayer group. So I asked them, I said, does anyone know who this is? And I felt led to reach out to another sister, so I reached out to her. And after I reached out to her, we were on the phone. I told her about the vision, and of course, she did research to see who this person was. Come to find out, Kendrick Lamar is headlining the Super Bowl. Now, after I heard Kendrick Lamar and that he's compromised, I heard Maverick City. Now, I don't know if this rings a bell with any of you. Maybe you can comment below what it means. But once I heard that, I knew it had something to do with the Super Bowl after I talked to my friend. Well, fast forward to today. Today, I am in my live stream, which I go live every morning at 7 a.m. my time, but I think it's like 5 to 7 p.m. yours. So I went live, and as I was live, one of the sisters was praying for someone. And as I went into prayer, I began to see a vision. I saw the Super Bowl stadium. I saw this man, he was singing on the Super Bowl, in the Super Bowl. He had a microphone in his hand, and as soon as he began to sing, I saw these demons, and they were dispatched throughout the stadium. They were going into people. I saw demons literally going into people, and they were going into people's homes, and they were going into them. And I knew whenever I come out of that vision, whenever the vision ended, that there's witchcraft going to be cast over the Super Bowl. Listen, this is a warning. Do not watch the Super Bowl. Halftime show. Do not watch the Super Bowl halftime show. Now, if you have to watch it for any reason, take anointing oil, put it on your TV, on the top of your TV. Pray over your TV. Pray protection over your TV.
Besides the halftime show getting a C+ letter grade, Kelsey did not impact the game at all, so the cameras barely showed Taylor Swift. For all we know, she probably swiftly exited the stadium before the game ended.
Breaking news, a news reporter covering the Super Bowl has been found deceased in his hotel room, and a woman has been arrested for using his credit card. The 27-year-old sports reporter is based out of Topeka, Kansas. He was in town to cover the Super Bowl for his station. According to authorities in a suburb of New Orleans, he was found unresponsive in his hotel room on Wednesday. This was after his colleagues called the hotel to do a wellness check after he missed his morning appointment. A woman then identified as a Louisiana local was seen on hotel security video with him on that morning. She was also seen later leaving the room alone that morning. Investigators also stated that she used his credit cards at multiple stores in New Orleans. She has been since arrested and faces multiple charges. She also has a history of drugging men and taking and using their credit cards. In addition to that, authorities revealed that the man's wife also passed away last year in a car accident. They both leave behind a 2-year-old daughter. At this time, authorities have not provided any further details on the case.
What a crazy story though, but hopefully a family member or somebody can actually adopt his daughter and raise up in the right way.
Why is Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley standing on a checkerboard floor during the Super Bowl pre-show? I mean, you really can't make it up at this point. They are showing you and telling you exactly what they are about. They are showing you and telling you who runs the show, because they constantly have to show their signs no matter what. And if you know what the checkerboard floor represents. And again, it is more truth in plain sight. This is why they have to show this. This was by no accident. This was by no coincidence. This was done on purpose because, again, they are showing you exactly what they are about. This is more truth in plain sight. You all really need to wake up, because all of these sports leagues are the same and they all are scripted and rigged.
I want to give the cameraman the benefit of the doubt because I do see that floor design in a lot of places that has no ties with Freemasonry, but that picture right there seems questionable. We got to the end of the video, but before you leave, hit the like button, sub up, and hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.